right, Mr. Foreperson, is this the verdict of the jury?
Yes.
All right, is it unanimous?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Jamie?
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled, "Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change," in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change," end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. 2. As to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled, "A Transformative Moment for Women," in the Washington Post print edition, and the online op-ed, "Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change," in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, "Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out," end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. 3. As to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled, "A Transformative Moment for Women," in the Washington Post print edition, and the online op-ed, "Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change," in the Washington Post online edition. Quote, "I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse," end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million. In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Ms. Heard's claim against Mr. Depp. 1. As to this statement, appearing in the April 8, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no. 2. As to this statement, appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt did not do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Ms. Heard proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, Mr. Waldman, while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the statement? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was seen by someone other than Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven by clear and convincing evidence that the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice? Answer, yes. 3. As to this statement, appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, we've reached the beginning of the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
All right. Does either side wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Jamie?
Members of the jury, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Juror number 6. Yes. Juror number 10.
Yes.
Juror number 15.
Yes.
Juror number 16.
Yes.
Juror number 22.
Yes.
Juror number 27.
Yes.
Juror number 29.
Yes.
All right. I do find that the jury's verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial. I know I speak for everybody here when I tell you that we appreciate your sacrifices and your time and your public service in this matter, okay? So I'm going to have you go back to the jury deliberation room for one more time, and then we'll release you from there, okay? All right, thank you. All right. Okay. In accordance with law, I will amend the punitive damages award to the statutory cap of $350,000 on Mr. Depp's award. Okay. I will set this down for entry of an order. And can we do it on June 24th at 10 a.m. if that's available? All right.
Yes,
Mr. Chu, if you could prepare that order and then circulate it to Ms. Bretterhoff, and we can have all the objections noted on it. All right.
We'll do that, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right, and if I get it before that date, I'll take it off the docket, okay? All right, again, thank you to all the attorneys for your professionalism, and you're welcome to come to my courtroom anytime. Well, give me a few weeks, but then you can come anytime, okay? All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
court is adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.
Outside the courtroom where you can see these fans. As I said, every time a judgment was read in favor of Johnny Depp, a huge crowd, cheers, went up here. The crowd cheering, Johnny, Johnny, clearly heavily tilted in favor of Johnny Depp outside the courtroom right now. And so they're still standing outside. I imagine they are going to be here waiting for Johnny Depp's legal team to come out. As I was mentioned a few minutes ago with Anjanette, the lawyers themselves have basically earned celebrity status during the course of this trial. The judge sending the jurors back into the jury room one more time before they are dismissed. Linda, do you think we're going to hear anything from Amber Heard?
Well, she came to the courthouse, so I assume that she will give a press conference. So they'll say they're going to appeal the verdict. They'll say that she was vindicated. Remember, this case has a lot of spin going on with it. But she's going to be asked the question: is how do you feel about the jury not believing your claims against Johnny Depp that he is he was the abuser? It turns out he was the victim, and she's not going to be happy with that question. I don't think there's an answer she can give that can spin that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's no question we're going to hear from her legal team. Maybe they'll take some questions. My guess is if she were to come out, and that's a big if because this is a pro-Johnny Depp crowd out here, if she were to come out, maybe she would make a brief prepared statement and then be like immediately ushered into a car by security. I don't think she's going to be doing any kind of press conference answering any major questions right now. Depp's team, on the other hand, I expect they will be. Again, for those who are just tuning in, the verdicts, I should say, not the verdict, but the verdicts are in, and Johnny Depp, the clear winner here, the jury determining that Amber Heard did defame him on all three counts that were being considered in her 2018 Washington Post op-ed. And joining us now is the one, the only, Dan Abrams, the founder of the Law and Crime Network, with us. Dan, give me your reaction.
Well,
first of all, we have to say, wow. I mean, I'm sitting in a car watching this live stream, just like 3 million plus others have been on the Law and Crime Network. And the fact that Johnny Depp won on all 3 of the counts is pretty amazing. Remember, this is a case where he sued a publication in London where the standard is harder to win, and a judge came back and said, no, he believed that Johnny Depp was a, quote, wife beater on 12 of 14 counts. Now you have a jury here of 7 people, 5 men and 2 women, coming back and saying that Johnny Depp was defamed on all 3 of the counts. I mean, this, I think, is a real surprise to a lot of people. Now, I had talked about previously the possibility of both of them, quote unquote, winning. But I think this, quote, win for Amber Heard is really a token win. Putting aside the money, right? Putting aside the fact that it's $15 million for him, $2 million for her, that's not just the issue here. You know, it sounds like the issue the jurors had with the statement made by the lawyer for Johnny Depp was about the fact that she got together with her friends, effectively conspiring. So maybe they didn't believe that aspect of it. But it seems to me that the takeaway from this case is these jurors believed Johnny Depp and they didn't believe Amber Heard. I don't think there is any other way to interpret all of these verdicts together.
Yeah, and Dan, I think that's a really good point, because the statement in which the jurors found for Amber Heard was a longer one that Adam Waldman made, in which he said, you know, talking about Amber and her friends setting Johnny Depp up, and to your point saying, yeah, so Amber and her friends spilled a little wine, they roughed up the place, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, then placed a second call to 911. So perhaps the jurors didn't believe that that whole sort of collaboration, right, conspiring happened. Would you say that then this is not a total loss for Amber Heard, though?
I think it's a total loss for Amber Heard. I mean, it's better. I mean, it's better that she won that one aspect of it than if she didn't win anything. Her team can now try and spin it and suggest that it was, you know, both sides and people didn't believe either. But in the end, I mean, when we talk to these jurors, and I'm sure that some of them will talk, they're going to tell you, I feel confident that they're going to tell you that they simply did not believe Amber Heard. Because remember, it's not that she won on all 3 of the counts with regard to her countersuit either. I mean, basically the jurors had come back and said, he wins on all counts and she wins on all counts, then I have a different answer for you. But because they said he wins on all counts, but she just wins on this one issue, it seems to me that I don't see how those jurors believe on questions 2 and 3 with regard to Johnny Depp, not just the sexual violence claim, but the rest of it. I don't see how those jurors come back and say that he was defamed and that there was any sort of equivalency here. If he was defamed by that statement and Amber Heard did not win on those countersuits with regard to calling it a hoax, etc., these jurors clearly believed Johnny Depp and didn't believe Amber Heard.
Yeah, Dan, let me stop you here, because our 3.5 or so million viewers, 3 million viewers on YouTube, some people have some concerns. They want to make sure that you are not driving. Like so many people, I'm sure you stopped whatever you were doing when you heard a verdict was coming at 3 o'clock. You picked up your phone and dialed into YouTube, right?
I'm in the back seat of a car. I'm not actually driving the car.
Right. He's not at the wheel, guys. He's in the back seat of a car. He's safe. Everyone on the road is safe. Dan's a lawyer. He wouldn't endanger himself and others. Let's talk about the appeal. Is Amber Heard going to appeal this, Dan?
Absolutely, she's going to appeal it. And remember, people have to remember that when you're appealing primarily the legal rulings, right? So she will appeal some of the testimony that was allowed to come in. She will appeal some of the aspects of the judge's rulings in this case, the pretrial rulings, the ruling itself. She's going to challenge the fact that there was a camera in the courtroom. There's going to be a whole panoply of challenges that she's going to make about how unfair the trial was, and she'll also seek to reduce damages. Right? In any appeal, the first thing you want to do, in addition to try and get a new trial, get it thrown out, is to try to reduce the damages and say that the jury made mistakes in how it assessed damages. I think that's her most likely chance of success here, but you know, that's not going to be the win for her. I mean, this to me is just, it's basically an all-out win for Johnny Depp And I do think that this gets him exactly what he wanted here, which is, I don't think he cares about the money, whether he ends up getting the money. She probably doesn't have that kind of money. This is vindication for Johnny Depp. A jury has said that he was defamed by these comments. And that means that these jurors believe that he was not a domestic abuser. And I think that allows him to get back his career in many ways. You could argue there were other reasons he lost much of his career, but this is a massive win for Johnny Depp, and I don't think it can be underestimated to characterize it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, you touched on the damages, and let me remind our viewers again that the jury awarded Johnny Depp $15 million in damages, and they awarded Amber Heard $2 million for finding that one of the statements made by Johnny Depp's lawyers was defamatory. So a little bit of imbalance in what's owed. To your point, you know, Amber might not have that money. We've talked about this already, but what happens to her in this case? She doesn't have the $15 million for damages.
Well, we'll see. You know, look, there's going to be a lot of appeals. We're a long way from the final judgment being issued in this case, and you know, Johnny Depp pursuing the damages against her. Well, let's see what happens there before we say that Amber Heard is going to have to declare bankruptcy. You know, which is potentially something that could happen in the end if she owed this kind of money and simply can't pay it. She could also try and raise money through donations, etc., from other people based on the reaction to this trial. I'm not sure that would be particularly successful. But, you know, I think we're a little ways away from knowing exactly how much she's going to have to pay and how she's going to get that money.
Let's talk about Johnny Depp for a second, because a little bit before we found out that there was a verdict, we did confirm that he was not going to be here. There had been a lot of speculation. We know he's been playing rock shows the last 3 nights in the UK. We knew there was a possibility he'd stay there. In fact, his team confirmed he would be staying there and watching the verdict from there. Any thoughts on him not being present for the verdict?
You know, this is not a criminal case. I think that people are sort of conflating this with a criminal trial. People say, how could he not be there? You know, this is a civil case for damages. You could argue, okay, does he not care enough to be there? I don't know. I mean, I don't view it as particularly significant that when it comes to a verdict that could take many days, that he decided he didn't want to wait. That's really more, from my perspective, a PR issue than it is a legal question. And the dollars, okay, but that didn't happen.
I think.
And so.
Okay, you're back. Dan, can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought up really it's more of a PR question, and so no, that's okay. We get it. Lots going on. Listen, so you said, yeah, that's a PR question about Depp not being here. So I have another PR question for you, because you watch so many of these high-profile trials, and yes, this is not a criminal trial, but we've seen a lot of high-profile civil trials. We know that these stars' reputations, you know, what was left of them essentially were at stake. Amber Heard's in the courtroom. We know both legal teams are going to come out. Do you think Amber Heard is going to address the media at all?
I don't think, with all those Johnny Depp fans out there, she wants to hold a press conference where people start yelling at her and those sound bites end up showing. If I were her PR team, I would let the lawyers for Amber Heard make statements. I wouldn't have her. I'd have her sit down with someone, you know, a relatively favorable journalist sometime, you know, tomorrow, next day, whenever, to give her statement. I don't think she wants the sound bites of her, you know, talking about how upset she is, about the disappointed she is, and people yelling at her and jeering at her. But I'd expect that both sides' lawyers would likely make themselves available to the media right there after the case. And of course, the most interesting part is going to be talking to the jurors, if and when they'll talk.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that most are talking to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Dan, thank you so much for dialing in and sharing your response with us, your reactions to this big pivotal moment after more than 6 weeks of covering this trial. We thank you so much. Maybe we'll check in with you later. But for now, I want to go right to Linda in the studio. She has a statement from Johnny Depp, his reaction to the verdict. Linda.
Oh my goodness, I'm actually trying to find it right now, Stacey, so just give me 1 second here. Hold on 1 second. You know, live TV, a lot going on. Okay, I need the statement. I will read it to you, but I need the statement. But while I'm waiting for that, if our producers can put it here, okay? All right, let me read it right now. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. And by the way, I love Dan commenting on our favorite witness by giving his report from his car. Alejandro, I'm changing my Zoom background. But here's Johnny Depp by his spokesperson. 6 years ago, my life, the life of my children, the lives of those closest to me, and also the lives of the people who for many, many years have supported and believed in me were forever changed, all in the blink of an eye. False, very serious and criminal allegations were levied at me by the media, which triggered an endless barrage of hateful content, although no charges were ever brought against me. It had already traveled around the world twice within a nanosecond, and it had a seismic impact on the life and my career. And 6 years later, the jury gave back my life. I am truly humbled. My decision to pursue this case, knowing very well the height of the legal hurdles that I would be facing and the inevitable worldwide spectacle into my life, was only made after considerable thought. From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owe to my children and to those who have remained steadfast in their support of me. I feel at peace knowing that I have finally accomplished that. I am and have been overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and the colossal support and kindness from around the world. I hope that my quest to have the truth be told will have helped others, men or women, who have found themselves in my situation, and that those supporting them never give up. I also hope that the position will now return to the innocent until proven guilty, both within the courts and the media. I wish to acknowledge the noble work of the judge, the jurors, the court staff, and the sheriffs who have sacrificed their own time to get to this point, and to my diligent and unwavering legal team who did an extraordinary job in helping me share the truth. The best is yet to come, and a new chapter has finally begun. Veritas numquat perit, truth never perishes. That's from Johnny Depp. That's the statement. Stacey, I know that you are sitting out there with Anjanette. We have Nima here in the studio right now. What is your reaction to that? Stacey, what is going back to you, your reaction to all of that? Johnny Depp's statement, very long.
My reaction to you is Amber Heard's statement, which we just have in to us right now. Let me read that. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. She goes on to say, I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that he won in the UK. I'm sad I lost this case, but I am sadder still that I seem to have lost a right that I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. Again, that's a statement from Amber Heard sent to us by her publicist, where she says, I'm sad I lost this case. So even though the jurors did find that Johnny Depp's attorney defamed her with one of his statements, as we've been saying, clearly this is a big loss for her. And Linda, when she says, you know, this is an affront to freedom of speech, what's your take on that?
It's not. The problem is that we said this is a very important case for freedom of speech when we started covering it here at the Law and Crime Crime Network. But it's also important that those don't abuse it. People do not abuse the freedom of speech. They don't defame others, especially calling someone who may have been the victim, or now the jury says is the victim, the abuser, and changing his life and the life of his family and children forever. So you have freedom of speech, yes, but you can't lie about people, and you can't lie about the people in the public. And I think the jury felt that, as we talked many times on this network, that Amber Heard was manipulative, and they did not want to be manipulated by her lies to them. And therefore, they came out with this very convincing verdict. And it is a total win, as Dan Abrams said, for Johnny Depp, because on the other side of the token, what you have is a lawyer who's going to be paying a malpractice policy if it doesn't get overturned on appeal.
Linda, Anjanette Levy's back outside with us now. She was inside when the verdicts were read. What was the mood? Did you get any reaction from Amber and her team? What was going on in there as the verdicts were read?
Well, I was sitting behind her team, her side of the courtroom, and I was trying to see, obviously I'm seeing the back of their heads, so I didn't get much reaction. Obviously, they're disappointed. They believe they're right. They believe he's wrong. But the jury saw otherwise. The jury, he ran the table. He may not have gotten the $50 million, but he won on every question.
Right.
That jury found that they believed that she lied. That's what they're saying. They're saying she lied, and that she put it out there in the public to hurt him. And it did hurt him. So she will appeal, I'm sure. But, obviously he lost on the second Waldman statement.
Right.
So, yes.
So, we said, okay, a little bit of a win for her. Now, it seemed extremely quiet, like you could hear a pin drop in there.
Yes.
I assume, was there any reaction from the crowd? Did anyone sort of gasp, sigh, anything like that,
Yeah, there were smiles, obviously. There were smiles. I kept trying to look around to see Ben Chu and Camille Vasquez's reactions, and they were kind of, I could see Ben Chu smiling a little bit, but it wasn't like a huge smile. It's a court of law. There's a certain level of decorum. Obviously they're pleased. They won. They may not have gotten the $50 million that they were seeking in the original claim, but he got 10. They found that he deserved compensatory damages of $10 million, and then punitive damages of $5 million, but that's capped at $350,000 by statute, so he won't get the $5 million in punitive damages. But I could see there were fans of his in there who were smiling. I must say, I think I mentioned this on the air earlier today, and I wanted to grab him before I came out here, and I just couldn't. I hope he comes. If you're watching, he said he's been watching. Come by the tent. Please come by the tent. We invite you. But this gentleman was in line with me for a wristband this morning, and he said that he used to try cases, is what he said. And he told me this morning, he believed, I'm pretty sure he said, I believe the jury will be back today and they will give him $14 million. When they said the 10 and 5, I literally looked back and he just smiled at me. I was like, how did you know? So he needs to come over here and give us an exclusive because he said that to me this morning whenever we were here at 7 a.m.
So, and Jeanette, I believe our camera's up now showing you guys the front of the courthouse. You've been talking to these lawyers throughout the process.
Yes.
You expect
as much as we can.
As much as you can.
I mean,
right.
they were not allowed.
Introduce yourself.
Yes.
You've not been getting inside details or anything that you shouldn't be.
Right.
But you've spoken to them enough.
I'm a very chatty person.
Right.
So
that's why we love you. So you expect that both sides will be coming out to deliver some remarks.
I don't know that. I would certainly hope so. We are all set up for a press conference. I would certainly hope that Depp's team would come out and make some comments. The world is watching. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say the world is watching.
More than 3 million people watching on our channel alone.
Yes, and we've got a chopper up above, some type of news chopper. We've got the world media set up here. So I would assume and hope that they might come out. I keep trying to check my phone, but still pay attention, obviously, to what we're doing here.
Sure.
So we're not being rude here, people. This is just how we operate in 2022.
Right.
So we are trying to get that information. I would certainly hope they would come out. We're allowed to do this now. This was not allowed during the trial, not at all. The judge said nothing, no interviews, no public statements.
Right. Which is common during.
Correct. It's a gag order of sorts.
Yeah. So we want to, for those who may have missed part of the verdicts, it happened somewhat quickly. Let's go back and listen to the part when the jurors delivered their monetary judgment in Johnny Depp's favor.
$5 million. In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Ms. Heard's claim against Mr. Depp.
Okay, some technical difficulties. Okay. We're having some technical difficulties apparently with that clip. So Anjanette, we were just talking about, yeah, we expect attorneys from both sides are going to come out, probably make a statement, maybe Johnny Depp's team. Oh, we hear some activity now. So can we go in live to that camera, guys? Wow, you can hear the cheers erupting. I can only assume that that is the Depp legal team coming outside right now, taking their real live victory lap in real time. I'm going to go to the podium. And here they are approaching the podium, Ben Chu, Camila Vasquez, the rest of the Johnny Depp legal team.
Hi everyone. Today's verdict confirms what we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence. We are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation, to the judge and the court staff who have devoted an enormous amount of time and resources towards this case.
Our judicial system is predicated on each person's right to have his or her case heard, and we were honored, truly honored, to assist Mr. Depp in ensuring that his case was fairly considered throughout the trial. We are also most pleased that the trial...
Well, there you have it. Attorneys for Johnny Depp not taking any questions right now. They made a brief statement. They have gotten into their SUV. I can see a lot of movement behind me as crowds sort of gather to watch. Presumably as their SUV starts to pull away, cheers in their favor, questions being thrown at them. I heard someone say, will Johnny Depp and Amber Heard ever speak to each other again, to the attorneys? It's a good question, actually. And I guess that's it for now. Some of what they said, we are so grateful to the judge and jury. We were truly honored to assist Mr. Depp. We are most pleased that this trial has resonated for so many who value truth and justice. A quick victory statement from the legal team. Linda, did you expect they would say any more? Did you expect they would say any less?
I love the statement. I love the fact that it was short, because they know they're going to say it's a victory for their client. They know that this is their client's win, that he pushed them. This moment belongs to the client. So I love the fact that they were short, they were sweet, and they gave credit to their client. And you know, Stacey, when we were looking and waiting for that verdict, and remember I was talking about how everyone was stoic and stone-faced and poker-faced, you saw Camille turn around, actually, to her team with a big smile before the verdict was read, which was kind of like a clue. They know they had won that case.
Yeah, for sure. So now we wait and see whether Amber's team comes out and makes a brief statement as well. Look, I have to imagine they are going to say something. Not Amber herself, but the legal team. Obviously, they may be booed, although I'm already seeing some of the Depp supporters leave. There was a family.
All right, You know, we have a little bit of some type of logistical issue right there. We are back and we're trying to reconnect Stacey's mic. But as you heard, Johnny Depp did win his case. We're going to listen to that moment in court when he won his verdict. All 3 counts, an enormous, gigantic win. Well, apparently, let's talk about it. $10 million for the 3 statements. And the 3 statements were, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath that has to change. That was the headline of that article, the op-ed that she wrote, and then she republished it from her social media account with a comment which let it go to a whole new audience. A very difficult count to win, but he did win defamation against her. The second one was, then 2 years ago I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the force of our culture's wrath for women to speak out. And the third one, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. All 3 of those statements found by the jury to be defamatory. I think Stacey Delicate is back with us right now in terms of watching what's happening in on that lawn, the victory celebration for Depp supporters. Is it still crazy out there, Stacey?
You know, we just heard another round of cheers of erupt, and that was the big black SUV carrying Johnny Depp's legal team pulling out of the courthouse, and off they go after delivering that brief victory statement again, in which they said, we're so grateful to the jury and the judge. We were truly honored to assist Mr. Depp. We are most pleased that this trial has resonated for so many who value truth and justice, was among some of the comments that were made there. Yes, do I expect that the legal team, Johnny Depp's legal team, is going to pop up probably in many other places and say a little bit more? Yeah, probably, because as we've been saying, these attorneys themselves, Camille Vasquez, Ben Shu, have basically achieved celebrity status during this trial, have built up their own following. You know, why not ride it to the end for them? Now, we're still standing by outside waiting to see whether Amber Heard's legal team is going to come out and make a statement. As you know, her publicist already did release a statement to us in which she said, in part, a statement from Amber, the disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. And then she went on to say that she's even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women, that it is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated. It sets back the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. And obviously there's been a lot of chatter, a lot of opining back and forth in the media since this trial began about whether this trial will have some kind of chilling effect on victims of domestic abuse. And there are still many people who believe indeed it will, who are really discouraged. I mean, I think we're all sort of discouraged by some of the threats and the really kind of nasty things that have been thrown towards Amber. I think that that's just not appropriate at all. You know, we heard during the trial her attorney say that there have been threats on her baby. Someone said they wanted to microwave her baby. I mean, those are truly horrific things. But, you know, this blanket statement she makes about it being a greater statement on domestic violence, I mean, we'll wait and see. I'm sure we're going to be hearing a lot of reaction on both sides. Linda, what is your feeling when she says, you know, this is a statement for domestic violence survivors everywhere?
You know, Stacey, I've seen a number of op-eds published in some of the media outlets about this, but people who haven't watched this trial. And I recommend for everyone who publishes that to go back into and listen to, we have it on YouTube. This jury sat in that courtroom with many, many weeks, and they gave up their lives because you had to listen to the testimony. And many of us came to this case, Stacey, thinking that Johnny Depp didn't have a chance in winning it. But as the case started and went on, he became incredibly believable. And the jury obviously found that she was not only not believable, but that she had made up untruths about Johnny Depp for her own purposes. So it's really not a statement about domestic victims and violence as regard to Amber Heard. It is a case about violence on domestic abuses and also victims relating to Johnny Depp. So it's maybe a one-off case, but it has brought a lot of attention to the fact that Anybody can be abused. If you are a man who's abused, you can come forward without fear that you're going to be ridiculed, because if Johnny Depp did it and it brought out everything about him, his drug use, his drug abuse into the public, well, then anyone can do it.
Linda, let's go now to Anjanette, who's outside the courthouse, where there are still fans out there, where we just saw the DEPP legal team come and make a statement and go. Anjanette, what's going on out front?
Oh, okay. Hi, guys. So sorry, I didn't realize I was live. Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Anjanette. Yes,
okay,
we can hear you.
Here.
Tell us what's going on out front.
Okay, sorry, I'm not hearing anybody in the studio. So this is live TV. This is what happens during breaking news. So joining me right now is John Cox. We met in the line for wristbands this morning. John, you're a former assistant U.S. attorney. You told me this morning you tried cases. Tell me what you told me this morning at 7 a.m.
I said I thought the jury was going to break on the sexual violence count, and I thought they would return the parties to the status quo at about a $14 million verdict.
And you thought that Depp would win. Did you expect? He ran the table.
I didn't see that.
He didn't. No. He won every count, but he didn't get the $50 million.
It just seemed like there was competing facts on both sides, but the sexual violence count didn't seem like there were competing facts.
Interesting. Your thoughts on the verdict for Amber Heard based on the second Waldman statement? They found it was defamatory and that Adam Waldman made that statement on behalf of Depp as his agent, and they awarded $2 million in compensatory damages, $0 in punitive. Your thoughts on that?
Well, she had her witnesses testify, and it was other than her, and they said it didn't happen. So there's a basis for that finding.
Your general reaction, I mean, I feel like you got the verdict pretty much right.
I didn't get to see the whole trial, but from what I saw, it sounded like if the jury had to make a decision between him or her, and you had to weigh the facts, it seemed like his side put out a better case than her side.
Very interesting. Well, thanks so much. We were going to let you get into the shade because guess what? It's a steamy day here in Virginia.
Yes,
so we are going to go. Thank you so much, John. It was so good to meet you. Okay, so we are going to go out into the crowd. I guess I could walk and talk with you guys. I'm going to try to find some of the people who've been here since day one. So let's do that and take a live look as we do this as to what's going on. Camille Vasquez and Ben Shu made a statement just a short time ago. It was short and sweet, and then they took off. So here are the cameras. A lot of international media here. We're going to cross over here. Pardon us, excuse us. And just so you guys know, I'm not hearing any hosts in the studio or anything like that, just for technical purposes. But we are going over here to try to find some of the supporters who've been here since day one. Hi there. Hi. Oh, hi there. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. You're very sweet. Thank you. Okay, so let's. Oh, sorry. So sorry. Excuse me. Let's find some of the people who've been here for a while. Let's see if Becca will talk to us. Oh, Tiffany. Okay, so Tiffany Lunn has been here since day one, and we met on the first day of this trial. She was the first person I interviewed. Tiffany, we're live on the Law and Crime Trial Network. We're on our YouTube channel, of course. Your reaction?
First, I'm going to say hi, Mom.
Of course.
I think it's good because it showed that the jury found that he did not do the things that she said. The money, he wasn't going for the money, so I'm all right with the money. It just found that she didn't have any clout in what she was trying to say.
Were you surprised that they found for him on every question?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay.
Absolutely not.
Were you surprised that they found on the second Waldman statement?
Yes, because, I mean, if it was just Johnny, it would have been different, but it also was Waldman too, so.
As his agent.
Yes. So there could be speculations, you know, that would be like me going around saying something